Secretary Wyman, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate your time.
Oh, thanks for having me on.
Of course. Can you give voters a sense of what your office is doing to protect the integrity of this election and what you learned from 2016?
Well, absolutely. In 2016, that was really, I think, when most election officials had to really put cybersecurity top and front and center in their operations. And we had already been doing that for many years because we were on, the internet with election night reporting and providing information. But 2016, all 50 states were scanned by Russian actors trying to get into our voter registration system. So we've spent the last 4 years building out critical infrastructure across the country. We are now part of the nation's critical infrastructure. We work regularly with our partners at the FBI, the Department of Homeland Security. Here in Washington, we work closely with our own Washington National Guard, who have some of the best cyber minds in the country, who are helping, really look at our systems, test it for vulnerabilities. Election night, they're with us, making sure and monitoring our equipment and our servers. And then we've just brought up a voter registration system last year that we were able to build even stronger firewalls and monitoring systems that really have given us a lot of confidence going into this election cycle. And we feel that we're doing well. And as of today, we have not had any breaches of those systems or any kind of compromise. So we're very confident.
Give us a sense of what election night returns will look like in Washington state. How many ballot drops will counties be making?
Well, here in Washington, we've been in close contact and conversations with county election officials. And right now across the state, I believe every county is planning on reporting just the first, after 8 o'clock, those first results that they report. And I don't think any counties are really planning on doing any subsequent reports that night. They will be reporting daily for the rest of the voting period after that. And remember, here in our state, historically, we receive half of the ballots next week. And I say next week because that postmark, a lot of ballots will come in on Wednesday and Thursday that either were dropped off election night in ballot drop boxes before 8 o'clock or came through the mail and they didn't get to election officials until Wednesday or Thursday with valid postmarks. So we've still got a long way to go. And election night is going to actually have more ballots than we normally have because people have been voting early, which is really good. Election officials are working hard to try to get really solid results and try to get through as many ballots as they can election night.
The president has questioned the integrity of mail-in ballots. Over your career, how much has the integrity of mail-in ballots been an issue in Washington state?
Well, I think one of the healthy parts of the US election system in its entirety is that people can be critical. And certainly the two main concerns that either side have are voter suppression, activities that might have a suppressive influence on voters participating, or voter fraud, some illegal activity that might cancel out votes. So we're always trying to balance out our access and security of our election system, and Vote by Mail does that very well. It's inclusive for most of our voters. We have ways to adapt for people who may need assistance or may need extra accessibility, and we are mailing to every single voter in the state. So that system we've had almost 10 years now to really build in those controls that can address the security concerns and the fraud concerns. And we've made it very accessible on the other side with, same day registration and mailing to every registered voter. So I think it's all about balancing those. And yes, those kinds of concerns have been expressed for decades.
How do you think specifically about preventing state actors like China, Iran, and Russia from interfering in the 2020 election?
Well, certainly since 2016, and some of the Senate reports point to as early as 2014, Russian actors in particular have been trying to infiltrate our election system in the United States. And many people spin that as it was an attempt to help Donald Trump, and it's been spun very politically. From the data that I've seen and the reports I've read, I think it's even bigger than that. Russia and countries like China and Iran are trying to disrupt our our republic, our representative form of government. And what they're trying to do is hit at people's confidence in our elections. They're doing it on multiple fronts, from trying to infiltrate and get into our systems, but also trying to put things on social media and the internet that cast doubt on the integrity of our system. And that, make no mistake, is trying to undermine your confidence as a voter that our elections are actually secure and accurate.
Your office works closely with counties during this season in particular. Can you give us a sense of what that coordination looks like between counties and the Secretary of State's office leading up to election night, on election night, and after election night?
Well, we are always working closely with our county partners, county auditors, election director in King County. We're doing everything from looking at the impacts of legislation and new laws to administrative code changes that we need to make to adapt. We just did one this year because of we were worried about the postal delays. So we put in a first class mailings would happen after 7 days or 7 days before the election. So it's really working in tandem with them. We are in a cycle where we're calling daily in the morning with all 39 counties and the USPS. And that's just an opportunity for the counties to talk. And if they're having some sort of, an issue, they can share it with the postal authorities and get it resolved. And those conversations will continue. We have daily calls and sometimes multiple calls in one day just to talk. And, something that one county seeing may be an indicator for all counties. And then as we get into election day, it's really just keeping the lines of communication open, particularly Tuesday. If something's happening, they share it with us. And again, we can share it statewide.